this time, would you please make welcome the Gifford Middle School Jazz Band and their director, Amanda Kastner.
Is it on? Yes. Okay. High schoolers are getting a chair, so that's why I'm not running. I'll fill time. So that was cool. If you've never seen West Side Story, it is a semi-modern interpretation of Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare, but they have cool snapping fights instead of real fights, so it's a little less intense. And that featured Emily Duncanson on trumpet. And, yeah, woo! Everybody say thanks, Colin. And Tupac. Our next piece has my favorite title, because I like food, obviously. It's Tastes Like Chicken, and it features 2 saxophones, Natalie Mignolet on tenor, and Gabby Carpenter on alto saxophone. Our last one is probably the most difficult because it changes time signature about every 8 measures. And it is from the original Incredibles, and I was so excited about the one that's going to be released next year, and they liked it enough to vote for it as their favorite song, so we're going to play it as our spring concert. And it features Andrew Miller on piano. And I have to do the puns because I told them I would. I hope you enjoyed our cool, incredible music. As always, a quick set change while I stumble over things and you can meet your neighbors. It sounds so different than December, doesn't it? We started with a march because that is the concert band tradition. When bands were first born, they were for the military and they needed to walk places, so they needed a march to get them there. Our next one has my favorite backstory. King George I was very wealthy, as kings usually are, and he had Handel on staff to write music for literally everything he did, including having a party on the Thames. So Handel wrote this piece, so King George and all his friends were in one boat having their party, and Handel and the musicians were in another boat cruising along behind, providing them music. So enjoy our procession. Our next song is actually a song from my childhood, way back when we had a VHS tape in my house. Yeah, I'm that old. And it was of Raffi, who was a folk song singer, and he sang Banana Boat. And if you know that tape, I am so happy because that was the best tape ever, and I would put it on repeat. So the Banana Boat song is about being at work all day and wanting to go home so bad you're just like, okay, count the bananas, I would like to go home and get paid. So if you have a banana, don't eat it now because you're not allowed to have food and drink, but eat a banana when you go home. And we have one more, a rock tune, and 12-bar blues is the basis for a lot of songs that everybody listens to on the radio. It's a very easy chord progression to play, and Indigo Rock is based on that 12-measure chord progression. So it's fun to listen to because you'll recognize the harmonies, whether you realize it or not. And is your instrument okay? You okay? Okay. I always get scared when I hear things drop. I'm like, is the instrument okay? Are you okay? But everything's okay. So we're going to play some 12-bar blues for you. Excuse me. As you can see, I like rock tunes. They're fun. Our next one is called Gregorian Chant and Ritual, and if you've never listened to actual Gregorian chant, you can. It's fun for about 5 minutes, and then it starts to sound the same. So what they did for this song is they introduced it in the beginning and then used those styles of writing to influence the rest of the song, which is a little bit more upbeat than a normal Gregorian mass. So if you would like to chant along, you may, or you can just sit and listen. Before we get to our last tune, I am going to talk a little bit about our Ashley Bird Memorial Scholarship that we have at Gifford Middle School. Let me get the date right. In 1997, Ashley Bird was a member of the Gifford Middle School bands, and on her way to the spring concert that year, she was involved in a fatal car accident. And her parents asked that all memorial funds be donated to the Gifford bands, so they set up a scholarship. Every year, students can apply for this scholarship to use towards a summer band camp. I would encourage all of them to apply because summer band camp is really awesome, even though it sounds like it would be a little much. I promise they're fun. I did them starting in middle school all the way through high school. So tonight, if you would like to donate to that scholarship fund, we have a place for that out in the lobby for you to donate to that fund, and students can submit applications up through Monday, and then we'll announce the winners at our awards ceremony on Friday. Okay, so let's bring the mood back a little bit. Our last tune is a bossa tune. If you've ever seen Austin Powers or heard The Girl from Ipanema, you know what a bossa sounds like. They're really fun, cool, and laid back. and it should remind you of sitting on the beach in the nice spring before it got hot last week, back when you could, go out in a t-shirt and not sweat to death. So enjoy our bossa. have fun. If you haven't heard of Pokemon or Pokemon Go, you should check it out. It'll get you out of the house and staring at your phone. I'm really terrible at it because I'm not good at Pokemon. I don't even know them all. I can't catch them all if I don't know them all. But they were like, we need to play that. And I was like, okay. And then we just decided to yell it at the end because what else are you going to do? Our next one takes it down a notch. If you are a fan of musicals or movies, there was Into the Woods a couple years ago that they made into a movie. Stephen Sondheim gets real weird in the second act, but it's a lovely musical where they combine a bunch of different fairy tales. And this song that we're going to play comes at the very end where they realize that they can get through anything if they lean on each other. So they're singing that no one is alone. Before we get to our last one, I have to consult my list so I don't forget anybody, because it's thank you time. Okay. Before I get to the Thanksgiving, I talked about the awards and social a little bit already. That is next Friday. I would encourage you to go. You get to hear more awkward jokes from me, and you get to see the kids looking all fancy, and it's a real fun time. So it starts at 7 o'clock. Location to be determined, because we got kicked out of the gym, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Probably in the cafeteria. Just show up at the cafeteria and we'll tell you where to go. It'll be fun. Good times. First, I'm going to thank our band sponsors. If you noticed the giant poster when you walked in, those are all the people that said, hey, we like your band enough, we're going to sponsor you. So we didn't really pay them back, but we gave them a little nod with our giant poster, and we put them in the program. If you want to be a band sponsor, you can do so next year. There's paperwork at the beginning of the year, every year. It's really fun. You get your name on a big poster. First, you saw all the people in red shirts running across the stage with me. All of the band students from Vero Beach High School are phenomenal, and they run around faster than I could ever imagine. So thank you to all the high school band students. And they're awesome band directors, Mr. Howell and Mr. Putsky, who are running sound right now, and Miss Wiggins, who's in charge of this whole building. They are phenomenal people, so thank you. If you've been to any concert before, you've heard me say this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I love where I work, and that starts with the people I work with, the administrators and the teachers and the custodians and everybody that works at Gifford Middle School. So if you work at Gifford Middle School, stand up so we can clap for you. We also have a phenomenal percussion instructor, Mr. Greenwood, who does about 50 million jobs in addition to doing percussion at our school. He helps out with the PAC, he's painting shells, he's doing basically anything anybody asks of him. So thank you, Mr. Greenwood, wherever he is. And then I don't know what I would do without the band booster board. They are not just band parents, they're my sounding board, and they help me get everything put together. I don't know how many emails where I've said, so what do you think about this? So they are phenomenal, phenomenal people. So thank you to my band booster board. Okay. And to all of you filling the chairs, hopefully you hear them practice every day. If not, you should ask them to do it more often, because as you can hear, they sound pretty great. So thank you for listening to them and encouraging them to pursue artistic endeavors. So clap for yourselves. And then they put up with a lot of my face and a lot of my bad jokes. So I'm gonna thank the students because they laugh at my jokes even when they're not funny. So after the concert, meet your students outside that way. It gets real busy in the back, and if you are putting an instrument on the truck, it would be super fantastic if you could follow us back to Gifford and help us just put it all in the band room. It doesn't really have to look good, it just has to be in the band room. And that will play our last song. And if you've read the news or, again, are into musicals, you've heard of Hamilton. It's history and music. What could be better? And we are gonna play My Shot, but we have to do it with somebody to help us, otherwise we can't hear the words. So my BFF, Mrs. Peterson, found me. She's pretty great. She found me one of the nicest students I've ever met in my life, who also happens to be really awesome at rapping. So if you would please make welcome OG Viper.
I am not throwing away my shot, and I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, I'm just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma get a scholarship to King's College. I probably should have bragged, but dag, I'm amazed and astonished. The problem is I got a lot of brains but no polish. I gotta holler just to be heard with every word. I drop knowledge, I'm a diamond in the rough, a shiny piece of coal, trying to reach my goal. My power of speech, unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is older. These New York City streets getting colder. I showed every burden, every disadvantage I have learned to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish, I walk these streets famished. The plan is to fan this spark into a flame, but dang, it's getting dark, so let me spell out the name. I am the ALEXANDER. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps spitting on us endlessly. Essentially, they tax us relentlessly. And King George turns around and runs a spending spree. He ain't never gonna set his descendants free, so there will be a revolution in the century. I'm not throwing away my shot, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, I'm just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, I'm not throwing away my shot, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Everybody sing! Woo! It's time to take a shot. Hey, I'm sorry about like me not saying anything at this moment. We're gonna rise up, time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up, time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up, time to take a shot. Rise up, time to take a these gonna rise up. When are these colonies gonna rise up? When are these colonies gonna rise up? When are these colonies gonna rise up? Rise up. I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. Wow, sorry. Away my shot, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm not throwing away my shot. Rise up, time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. And I'm not throwing away my shot.